Hello, kiddies. I'm Trick.
And I'm Treat. And this is Tales from
Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch. Welcome back, all you boys and ghouls.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Spooky. Guys, if we're saying spooky, then it must be Happy Halloween.
It must be.
What is this, like our fifth Halloween episode?
I think it's our fifth.
Halloween's a great time for geeking out.
It is a fantastic time for geeking out.
The air is crisp.
Hold on. I'm going to do a masterful fade out here.
Okay. The sound engineering. Top notch.
Thank you.
Top notch. The cinnamon is in the apple treats, and the
hot chocolate is
the pumpkins have been
mixing
latteed.
on the stove. The pumpkins have been latteed.
Like it's just that time of year again.
The leaves are falling from the trees. There's magic in the air.
And
it's
it's just time to get spooky. So every time you join us, even when you join us on All Hallows Eve, such as this episode, you join us in our GOCO, our Geeking Out Command Outpost, in a different corner.
The Geeking Out Multiverse.
And Shades.
Yes, Sketch.
We actually have like legit digs this time.
I know.
Like a legitimate place that people go.
Yes.
Where are we set up this spooktacular evening?
We are in the Mission Hotel on a spooky evening. An old church abandoned turned into a hotel.
Yep.
Yeah.
In New Mexico.
Yes.
Wormwood, New Mexico.
Wormwood, New Mexico.
But you think autumn?
Yes.
You think Halloween? Where do you think? New Mexico.
New Mexico.
That's where we are.
That's where we are.
So if we are in Wormwood,
New Mexico,
and it's Halloween.
Yes.
That must mean we're talking about
Tales from the Crypt,
Demon Nights. So, do we have a theme song this week?
We already played it. We've gone through it.
So now I can just say, perfect. And now we're back. Happy Halloween, everybody.
I'm sure there was some like masterful engineering and editing
it was
there.
Great. I loved it.
Yeah. We look very professional.
So we're going to obviously talk about Tales from the Crypt.
Yes.
Demon Night, and possibly any other Tales of the Crypt, even though I have not seen any other Tales of the Crypt. We'll get there in just a second.
I think we're there. History.
Yeah.
Sketch, what's your history with Tales from the Crypt?
The old spoiler alert there at the top of the episode, just so no one gets mad. But
yeah.
I think I saw Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood on Comedy Central at least a couple of times in like middle school, early high school.
And that is the sequel to this movie.
Oh, is it?
It's like, Tales from the Crypt is kind of anthology anyway.
Yeah, because I kind of thought they were... Okay, let's go back even further than
What's your history with Tales from the Crypt?
None.
You've never seen a Tales from the Crypt other than Bordello of Blood.
And now Demon Night. As we have discussed on other Halloween episodes.
Not your thing.
I'm not a spooky kind of guy. I'm easily scared. I'm very timid. That's one of the words that people would use to describe very timid.
You are the cowardly lion from Wizard of Oz.
Easily spooked.
Put them up. Just walk around telling people to put them up all the time. Yeah.
That is really why people call me the cowardly lion.
Yes.
Because I'm constantly telling people to put them up and then I belt them in the face.
Yes. I don't think the Cowardly Lion ever fought anybody.
Never saw it, but I just
never seen the Wizard of Oz.
I've seen the Wizard of Oz. I give him an old slobber knocker right? Wasn't that a word?
Yes, that is an old time.
That's an old cut from the Geeking Out episode of a older timey word.
Yes.
Anywho, so I've been getting more into the darker materials, but definitely growing up, I was way too timid to watch like scary things. I avoided stuff like
big old fraidy cat.
Didn't like blood or gore. I was okay with like your typicals, like your skeletons and your PG like monsters,
Under Wraps, Halloween Town.
Sure, those kind of things are fine. But as soon as you start like goring and maiming, I get a little too queasy, or I used to get a little too queasy. So these were never part of my development.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I can handle them now.
Okay.
I only lost sleep for 2 nights. So I went 72 hours awake after this. But yeah, that's my whole thing. I don't really, I'm sure with the history you'll tell me, the whole Crypt Keeper thing, like the whole, is it the comic, did it start as comic, or it's just like, it's always a movie, but it's bookended by like these introductions. I don't know. I'm sure you're going to get there. Don't know any of that.
Sure.
Don't know any of that other than what I've now taken in with this movie.
Okay.
Demon Knight with a K. That's important.
With a K, yes.
If you're looking for this movie,
Demon Knight.
There's other Demon Knights with an N, and this does have an N. Preceded with a K, though.
Preceded with a K.
That's important. Yeah. Oh, and
Demon Warrior, Demon Knight.
Yeah. Like a guy with metal suit. Some people call the suit of armor. Think of that knight. This guy does not have that.
He has a cowboy hat and a duster.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck this cowboy shit.
It should be Demon Duster.
Demon Duster. Demon Cowboy.
Yeah. Demon Cowboy.
Demon Wrangler.
Demon Wrangler. That's pretty good.
Demon Wrangler.
That's pretty good. All right, what's your history
Demon Ringleader?
With this movie specifically and just Tales from the Crypt in general?
Okay, so I feel like Tales from the Crypt, without going too far, I didn't do the Tales from the Crypt history because I feel like that's like such a expansive kind of thing.
Just give me enough to understand.
Tales from the Crypt was an okay, so Tales from the Crypt is an EC Comics anthology comic in which it has reoccurring themes, but they're either loosely or unconnected. Rules for a universe, but not interconnected stories. They're always different characters. And then turned into an HBO series in 1987.
Okay.
I don't know how long it originally ran for, but I don't think it ran very long. And I remember watching Tales from the Crypt late night on either Comedy Central or Fox, like in that 1 to 2 to 3 o'clock hour after channels stopped going off the air and they had 24-hour programs. Yeah. So I remember watching Tales from the Crypt episodes in syndication because we didn't have HBO. So I definitely wasn't watching it.
We also didn't have HBO.
I definitely wasn't watching it on HBO. I definitely wasn't watching it in 87, but I love horror movies.
Yeah.
I love horror. I had an older cousin who like delighted in like terrifying me with horror movies. And then I was like, oh, these aren't scary. There's comedy here.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah.
I didn't have an older cousin.
Absurdity.
I was the oldest.
Yeah. So my older cousin, Josh, loved horror movies. And he showed Hellraiser, Friday the 13th.
Cool.
His thing was Nightmare on Elm Street. That was his like favorite franchise. So he showed me all those fucking movies and like terrified me. And I was like afraid to go in my basement for a while because like when he described the Nightmare on Elm Street movies to me, he was like, oh, Freddy's basement. And there's like fire and things hanging. I'm like, oh,
you're basically describing why I avoided them as a child.
Yeah. I was like, oh, am I going? And then he showed me one. I was like, oh, this is campy. This is not terrifying. I mean, there's gore and there's blood. But it's like, this is ridiculous.
It's easy to see.
Yeah. You can
screen between you and
that. Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
the first 2 Halloween movies wound up being like my favorites as I got older. And then like at some point, like I just was like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
You gave it up. You hung it up.
Yeah, like when I see a horror movie now,
shit.
I think horror movies used to like there was a campy kind of fun element to a horror movie. There was gore, there was like but there was like a story. And now it's just like about how much, like it seems to me at least, how much pain can we inflict on a human being? Like certainly like the Saw stuff.
Yeah, again,
like I don't when I
seen any of these
like
things.
like when I see a modern horror movie and stuff, like this is just about like torturing people now. It's not there. I mean, so it's like I can't do it anymore.
You say they've walked away from the supernatural aspect of it.
Yeah, it's the supernatural aspect is I think lost in a lot of modern horror. And longtime listeners, if you disagree with me, write into the show. But I loved Tales from the Crypt because you had these spooky stories that were like bookended with the Crypt Keeper introducing the story to you, and it was like the Crypt Keeper's mansion, the bookshelf flies open, we go down, and he's doing something ridiculous, or he's sitting in a director's chair.
That's what he was doing in this
one.
This
is very much a trope of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper is he's the narrator
He's
of
the
these things. He's the storyteller.
Yeah.
And the Crypt Keeper's hilarious. Hello, kitties. It's like, you get it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not scary.
No, he's
like,
not scary. I could have handled him as a kid.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's like decomposing Mr. Rogers.
That's a t-shirt right there.
It is. It's like a decomposing Mr. Rogers who like sets up this scary story, tongue in cheek,
mm-hmm.
and like he like brings you in, and like this animatronic Crypt Keeper thing is fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna tell you something scary, and then the Crypt Keeper is gonna like quickly like bring it back and like, oh, that was fun, wasn't it? So it was a good. I don't know if it was an introduction, but it was a good. Vehicle, let's
mm-hmm.
say,
mm-hmm.
as a young consumer of horror, because we had like, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Mm-hmm.
This feels like if you watched and you liked Are You Afraid of the Dark, this was the next step into it.
Yeah.
Like or like a Goosebumps. If you like grew out of Goosebumps,
yeah,
this would have been the next thing that you would grow into.
Feels very teenagery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had consumed that in syndication. I'm not sure where,
mm-hmm.
but I never had HBO. I certainly never, and I remember seeing a lot of things over and over again. So I feel like there weren't a lot of episodes that they were able to pull from.
Yeah, I feel like I saw Bordello of Blood a couple of times, and only that ever.
Well, Bordello of Blood was definitely a toned down version of this movie,
which is kind of crazy because it's about a bordello.
But like I think it's PG-13. This was hard R.
Oh, this was a hard R.
I mean, if NC-17 existed at the time, I think it would have been NC-17.
Yeah, I don't know what makes you cross that line.
I think it's nudity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in like gratuitous nudity and violence.
Interesting.
I think is what gives you the hard NC-17.
Yeah.
I also think they retired NC-17. I don't think that's a rating anymore.
Now we're just like,
Everything's streaming. If you want to let your kids
watch, it's on you now, parents.
Yep, you're
and that's the scariest thing of this Halloween episode.
Right?
Now it's up to you guys to pick.
Shit, let's break out the heroin.
Yep.
Got
some crack.
There's a
deep dive from a couple episodes ago.
Fresh but deep cut. Had you seen? So you never saw Demon Knight?
Never saw Demon Knight. Never heard about it. Never knew what it was. What was it? The Crypt Keeper in this makes it seem like it's going to the theater. Was this a theatrical release?
It went to the theater.
Was this truly their first one? Because that's kind of what he's saying at the beginning.
Yes, okay. This is their first film release vehicle.
Okay.
My high school girlfriend fucking loved this movie.
Interesting.
I had seen like a TV edit of it
late
night on Comedy Central, I think. And then I hadn't seen it. And like she and I both really Halloween was her holiday. Like that was like bigger than Christmas.
Yeah.
Like her family would put a big display.
I know people like that.
Halloween was the thing, and like, and I also very much love Halloween. Not to that extent, but it was great. It was like a great stretch. I think it's like people who like sci-fi or like cosplay, and then if like you have a friend that's a LARPer, similar. Like if you do cosplay, like LARPing's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
It's like
another level.
Another level of cosplay. Yeah. So I would equate it to that, like Halloween in their household. And this was like one of her favorite like Halloween movies. And it was out of print at the time. So by like 2001, 2002.
Yeah. We're in high school.
You can't find it anymore.
Yeah.
It's out of print. It's not available. Wow. And we're like, oh shit, like I remember like her telling me about this movie. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. I think I enjoyed it. I remember like I was like, oh, Billy Zane and William Sadler are in it. Yeah, I've seen it, and like I like both those actors. Like, yeah, let's watch it. We couldn't find it, and I remember driving like from where she lived to like somewhere in Massachusetts to find a copy.
And she lived in Nevada, so I mean that was a hike.
No, she lived in another part. Like we live, like we're in
In
central.
New England. We're in New England.
Yeah, we're in New England, like central Rhode Island. So we're in central Rhode Island, and we like drove to somewhere in Massachusetts because that's where we like found a copy.
Yeah.
We might have actually had to buy it.
Our longtime listeners from Texas are like, shit, that's how far I go to get to Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, that's the closest town center.
It wasn't easy to watch, is
Yeah.
the point. And I remember like in the breakup, I think she got it for me, but in the breakup, she got it.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't own this movie. It still hurts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, based off of that introduction, I'm proud to announce our guest host for this episode, Shades' high school girlfriend, coming in. No, she's shaking her head. She's too
not
shy
gonna
for
do
this. Okay.
The wound is still fresh.
Yep. She just wanted to show you that she still has the movie.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Wow.
What are you gonna do?
And now she's gone. Thanks for joining us. Happy Halloween.
Good to almost see you. I couldn't from where I'm sitting. I couldn't see
quick.
the doorway.
It was quick. Just a little flash of the movie.
So yeah, I've always enjoyed this movie, like appropriately frightening, I think, and funny. But definitely what I would describe as a B movie.
Okay.
Sketch. What's your history with B movies?
I don't really have a history with B movies.
Not a B movie guy. We've already talked about this.
Yeah, and we know this. This is my unique standpoint, guys. Calm down.
Yeah.
Guys and gals. I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up.
Yeah.
So when I did watch movies, they weren't B movies. They were the ones that like everyone's talking about. And if I did see like a B movie or below, it was in something like Mystery Science Theater because we were into the comedies, and that was the fun. And now here I am, a professional podcaster, making fun of movies, just like I grew up with. But I truly don't really have any experience with B movies. I mean, you would definitely consider like sci-fi movies to be B movies, right?
There's definitely a whole slew of sci-fi movies that are B movies.
Because I've seen some of those.
So a B movie is classified as a movie with a just embarrassingly low budget that's intended to be the second feature in a double feature. So we're talking about like the age of drive-ins, where you get a double feature, and you'd go for the A movie, and then there was a movie behind it to justify the price of the ticket.
Which, little bit of a side note.
Sure.
Isn't it nice that drive-ins
are
bolstered a little bit because of the last year?
Yes.
Got to find the silver linings where you can.
You do.
And drive-ins becoming popular again, and like a thing.
Yeah, we had one of the last drive-ins in Northern Rhode Island. You and I have been to it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw
Captain America
and one of the Transformers. I think we established that it was
the one with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah,
whatever
Dark of the
one
Moon.
of that is.
I think we established that it was or Rise of the Fallen. I can't remember if it was Rise of the Fallen or Dark of the Moon, but it was one of those two.
Yeah,
I think it was 3. We established it in a previous episode. We don't need to establish it now.
We do not.
So I love
B movies.
Mm-hmm. And I think like I had seen this movie at some point, and I think it was either on there were 2 programs late night. One was USA Network's Up All Night, and then on TNT there was Monster Vision with Joe Bob Briggs.
Wow.
Joe Bob Briggs then went on to host another version of that. Now he's doing it direct on the internet, and it's called The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. And it's the same fucking setup. It's like this, like the same sets that he's been using when it was called Monster Vision. And he's been doing this for like, I guess, 35, 40 years. And he is like America's premier B-movie aficionado.
Okay.
And I fucking loved these shows. Sketch and like really implanted a love of cinema. I just talked about this in a previous episode.
Yep.
Fucking love B movies. MST3K. A lot of the movies that you see in MST3K, I had seen on Up All Night or Monster Vision without the commentary.
Yeah.
Like just the movie straight on. Like Santa. One of the early MST3Ks is Santa versus the Martians. I had just seen that movie on its own.
A classic.
Without the
robots.
Crow T Robot.
Yep.
Tom Servo. and Gypsy,
Yep.
mucking them up. I'm like, oh, why are they riffing on this movie? And then like, oh, not really understanding what a B movie was, but had seen many of them. So I really feel like I either saw this on Up All Night,
Yeah,
or Monster Vision. I fucking loved those shows. I think it's amazing that Joe Bob Briggs is still doing this.
Yeah, good on you, Joe Bob.
And it's interesting because like he grew up in an era of New York when all of the Broadway theaters had become B movie theaters. And like, so a lot of the movies that he's showing are things that he saw as a kid in the 70s and 80s in New York.
Okay.
When Broadway had closed up shop, except for like the really big stuff, or like off Broadway when like a lot of these theaters were collapsing. This is what they showed. And there's no place for them now in America cinema. Like, and even with cable, cable TV is dying.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere to show them, and so they're disappearing. And this is like his life's mission.
Streaming service. There aren't many of those out there, and
but I mean, you gotta pay a lot of the times if there's no draw and the service doesn't want your stuff. You gotta pay to get it on the service.
Yeah.
So there really is no market. Like DVD isn't really a thing anymore. Blu-ray's kind of expensive to make. You gotta have a Blu-ray player. They're not as ubiquitous as DVD. VHS is gone. So it's like, where do you watch these movies?
Right.
And Tales from the Crypt to me always felt like a B movie with A-list actors. And I just fucking love it. And I think it's a great example of the genre. It feels like a movie you can make.
Mm-hmm. You can make this movie.
So that's my history with Tales from the Crypt and horror. Spooky.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. All Hallows Eve. History of the movie?
History of the movie. This specific Demon Knight with a K.
Demon Knight is the only Tales from the Crypt vehicle not adapted from the EC Comics run.
Wow. So Bordello Blood was?
I guess so. Or maybe until that time. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. But
so it's the first.
It is the first.
Regardless if others after.
At this point, yes. The first draft of Demon Knight was written in 1987, 2 years prior to the debut of the HBO series. I find that like insane.
Yeah.
The script passed through numerous hands of many horror directors, the likes of Pumpkinhead's Mark Carducci, Child's Play's Tom Holland, not to be confused with the actor Tom Holland.
Oh, that wasn't him?
No. And Pet Sematari's Mary Lambert.
I've seen Pet Sematary. Does that blow you away?
Yeah.
That's me. Me.
That's a scary one.
It's kind of scary.
It is.
I've seen it recently, so it's okay.
Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead. Oh, and I saw the original, everybody.
Yeah. Not the new one.
Not the new one.
With Herman Munster.
Yes.
Yep.
He's the sometimes dead is better.
Yeah. Sometimes dead is better. What stays buried comes back. Anyway, the steps to that hill to Pet Cemeteries in Acadia National Park.
Nice. Did you do it?
We did, actually.
Very cool.
It's been rehabbed significantly. They're like really nice steps.
Is there a real Pet Cemetery up there?
No.
Okay, so that was
it just plateaus on a carriage trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We switch into Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Mary Lambert's Pet. So they all passed on it for those other vehicles. Mary Lambert added an interesting twist that is kind of present but not really, where she envisioned a black female protagonist, and the movie would tell the story of the, quote, most oppressed people were also Earth's saviors.
Mm-hmm.
Demon Knight kicked around Hollywood until 1993, when it was optioned to be the second film in a Tales from the Crypt trilogy. Neither of those movies that it was supposed to be the middle installment, neither of the films bookending it were made.
Okay.
They were abandoned multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And Demon Knight moved forward. Due to budget constraints, this is my favorite, this blows my mind. Due to budget constraints, 2 versions of the film were created. One with demons and one without.
I'm trying to imagine this movie without demons.
Ready? The latter, without demons, and this was the studio's favorite, would envision the collector as a Bible salesman with an army of black-clad suit, sunglass-wearing Bible salesman minions.
Yep.
Same premise.
Just humans.
Just humans.
Yep.
But a film called Demon Knight with killer yuppies made everyone nervous. Like all of the like that's what they favored, but then as they were talking about it, like, okay, if we like people in like this image of the yuppie, with their like nice suits, and like that makes everyone nervous. At Universal, and so they greenlight the version with demons,
which is
that to me
that's funny,
is like bonkers. That the studio's like, all right, we're gonna pony up the money for the demon costumes, and the effects, because casting ourselves as the bad, like that was smart.
That was smart of whoever came up with the, all right, they don't have to be demons. They can all look like you guys.
Yep. Oh, that's
fine. We'll give you the
money for the demons. Yeah.
Talk about spooky.
Yeah. And it was intended to be part of a trilogy. The other two movies were not made. Bordello of Blood is its immediate sequel. And they had envisioned making more movies after it, in which the narrative would be continued upon loosely. And the key does make an appearance in Bordello of Blood.
Oh, neat.
The key, the blood-filled key, is present in Bordello of Blood.
I'll have to rewatch that some point.
Dennis Miller, I think, is fantastic in Bordello of Blood. I'm not a big Dennis Miller fan.
I'm not a big Dennis Miller fan, but I think that's the only thing I've ever seen him in.
Other than Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about this trilogy that didn't happen. The trilogy was going to be like 3 movies that directly led into each other, right? Like it was the same plot over 3 movies?
I honestly don't know.
Because this movie does feel like the middle of a story, and I love that about it.
I also love that about it. Spooky barking. I don't know if they were supposed to be, because Tales from the Crypt was always an anthology series,
right? Which is why I was surprised to hear there was going to be like a trilogy, or if it was just going to be a set of 3 movies, and now it's potato, and Halloween, All Hallows Eve, that kind of thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bordello of Blood's not a direct sequel. It takes place in the same world, but it's also
so the events at Mission Hotel have happened in this world. They're just unrelated events, except the key shows up.
The key does show up.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, that doesn't bode well for our hero.
It does not. It does not bode well for Jolene.
I think I wrote it somewhere. Maybe I didn't. Jolene?
I think they call her Jolene. It's
played
Jolene.
by
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada Pinkett.
Then just Jada Pinkett.
So I'm just going to call her Jada because I don't remember her character name.
Jolene.
I mean, I always talk about the collector
Geraldine. Her name's Geraldine.
I always refer to the collector as Billy, so why not just...
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Because it's just Billy, guys. It's just Billy. All right.
The name of the sequel, the prequel and sequel movies were to be
Demon Afternoon and Demon Morning, both with K's.
Dead Easy and Body Count.
They don't seem very related.
Dead Easy, Demon Night, Body Count. I don't think they were going to be...
By name, they don't seem very related.
I don't think they were related. And that fits in the Demon Night, the Tales from the Crypt universe.
Right.
And also, it was supposed to come out on Halloween of 94, but it got pushed back to January of 95. So it's just
this wasn't even a Halloween release?
It wasn't even a Halloween release.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I mean... What are you going to do?
Usually people aren't clamoring for this kind of movie right after the holidays.
Right. Sketch.
All important internet scores?
We did the history. I got to ask you, how much do you think it made? And how much
before this internet scores?
Do I always do internet scores first?
Yeah.
Okay. All important internet scores. IMDb gives it a 6.7.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we do.
I think we usually do. Whatever.
We do whatever we want.
It's our show, whatever. IMDb, 6.7. Rotten Tomatoes critic score, 38%.
Wow.
Fan score, 64%.
Okay.
Metacritic, 48% critic score, 74% fan score. 98% of Google reviewers love this movie.
You know Google. No one's going on Google unless they have something good to say.
Some people do give it a low score.
Some people.
It depends on the property.
Google, really.
Yeah, it's usually the you don't write a review on Google if you don't like something.
It must be a pain in the ass. I've never written a review on Google. You must really have to like something to get
when
in
you
there.
write a review on Google, you have to sign in with your Google ID.
Oh,
so
no one
like
wants to do
people
that.
are going to be able the people will know who you are.
Yeah, you're going to be nice.
It's out there.
Yeah.
So you got to be nice. I like that aspect about Google. Google review. If you're going to leave a review for something, people are going to know who you are.
Yeah.
Kind of like doxing yourself when you write a Google review.
Yeah.
It's not like on Amazon. You got to go on Amazon and look at the comments. When you go to Google, it's just there. Spooky. I give Demon Knight 92.
Nice. That's a high score. That's
Thank
higher
you.
than any of those scores.
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
This might surprise you.
Okay.
It could go either way when
It
I say
could.
that.
It could.
I gave this a 73.
Okay.
It's higher than I was
That's
expecting to
it's
give it
higher
before
than
I
I was
watched it.
expecting you to give it.
As a not fan of horror,
Yeah.
I got to get over that hurdle first.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm writing notes after 72 hours straight of being awake, checking my closet and under my bed. That's a good score.
Stabbing,
And I'm
stabbing people in the eyes.
I'm kind of in there with the.
Yeah, you
with
are.
the-
You're right in the wheelhouse.
with the pros there.
I'm giving it a 92.
Sure.
And that might be
It was another formative movie for you.
it is, but I also think we'll get into it in my raves.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sketch, how much do you think it cost?
Well, by definition, not a lot.
Mhm.
So
More than what they wanted it to.
more than what they wanted
still
it to.
not a lot.
Still not a lot. 15 million.
Great guess. 13 million.
That was a great
It's a great guess. Yeah.
2 million off.
Getting really good at this.
I'm like zeroing in on these.
I feel if you were playing the lottery, I feel like you still get money.
Yeah.
How much do you think it grossed?
Well, the key here is that it came out in January and not Halloween.
January of 95.
So
So
I'm
this is not
gonna
really
go,
a New Year's movie.
I'm gonna go with
Did you peak? You just peaked.
No, I did not peak.
Longtime listeners, I think Sketch peaked.
Okay.
What's your guess?
10 million.
Oh, okay. You didn't peak.
Oh, why? Did it make more than that?
It did.
Oh, good for it.
Not much.
15 million.
Higher?
Higher.
Yeah.
So we made a profit.
Barely.
20 million.
Great. Yeah. It made $21 million.
21 million.
Which for
A respectable-
January, like, if
a
you're making
January-
a horror movie and you put it out at like the Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's season, that's a bad. I mean, it's just a bad business
Tough
decision.
time.
Yeah,
I
tough
feel like
time.
horror movies seem to come out most in
Summer or Halloween,
and then February.
February, like
Because-
for the Valentine's Day stuff,
and-
slasher stuff,
And also
Yeah.
because they're cheaper to make and it's the lull
Right.
and yeah.
in movie season. Yep.
Yep.
Horror movies are just traditionally released February, in the summer,
Mhm.
late summer after the blockbusters, or
October.
at Halloween.
Okay. Raves?
Raves, let's do it.
Oh, we should have a Halloween theme. Graves?
Graves, kitties.
Quick, be thinking of something for rants. Something spooky for rants.
Ants,
Oh, that's good.
fire ants,
Oh, I thought you meant the sister of your father
aunties.
kind of
No,
ants. Okay.
fire ants.
All right, we'll put a pin in it.
your pants.
That's close.
I'm failing here. I'm trying, guys. I'm on the spot.
Rantasms? Like phantasms?
We're gonna edit
Rantasms?
this so that I look
Ooh.
fucking amazing.
Rantasms
Right?
could be taken
Right?
the wrong
Yes.
way.
Thumbs up, control room. We're gonna edit this, right? Okay, good.
No, he's talking to your high school ex-girlfriend over. He's not even paying attention. All right. Raves.
Start us off, Sketch.
Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of already said this, but I went into this with 0 to low expectations just because you said you really liked it. So I was
Yeah.
like, this is going to be bad.
this movie.
No, just because I'm like, oh, okay,
Every time I say I love a movie, it's like bad. It's fucking
Yeah,
bad.
I'm
It's-
like,
it's because
oh,
of the
boy,
nostalgia, right?
this is going to be
when I
another
love a movie.
stinker
Yeah.
of a property. No, I'm just kidding. But
Another garbage dump, decomposing flesh and rotting meat.
a real rind grinder is what I call
That's a deep cut. Not really.
It's a fresh deep cut. No, I went into it not with zero to low expectations because of the movie, but just because of the genre, because it's not my genre. So I thought, oh boy, I'm gonna struggle with this movie. Did not struggle with this movie. I actually found the plot to be like really compelling, and I really enjoyed the supernatural lore behind it.
Yeah.
And the way it was delivered, because it wasn't just laid out for you. You had to piece it together throughout different scenes of the movie, and it was sparse.
Yeah.
And I liked that about it because it was just enough. So if you haven't seen it, what I'm talking about is that there's this guy, there's these two guys fighting basically.
Yeah. The Collector and Breaker. And the Collector's trying to get this item that Breaker has. And that's really all you know. We don't know what it some item, something.
Trying to get something back from him. Like it's implied that he stole it.
It's implied like the movie sets up that there's a car chase.
Yeah.
It sets up that Breaker is maybe the villain and Billy Zane, the Collector, is like,
or at least hired by the
good guys to get him, like a bounty hunter.
Yeah. And
that's what certainly the opening moments of the movie.
Yeah. So like for the first 15 minutes of the movie, I was just like, what is going on? This is it? Okay.
We're opening in the middle of a car chase, a horrific car chase. There's obviously something supernatural because like one of them perceives to be like
blown himself up, walk out of the flames,
and walks out of the flames. But then he's like working with law enforcement. So like, who's the villain? Who's the good guy?
And you kind of uncover this plot that's been kind of going around since biblical times of this key that the demons need to unravel the universe.
There are
7
keys.
There's only one left that the demons
that the demon, like they're spread throughout the cosmos.
Yeah.
The last one that they need is on Earth.
Yeah. God hid it the way man hid the mother box. And
God.
Yet once again, last one to be gotten.
Filled the key with the blood of a carpenter.
Yeah.
And now the demons can't touch it.
Yeah. So it's like protected by this holy blood. And so the demons can't touch it. And then it sets off this like line of the demon knight, the person who's protecting the key and keeping it out of the hands of the demons. And you might be saying to yourself, well, demons can't touch it. What's the problem? If they can get someone to empty the blood out of it,
then they can touch it.
Then they can touch it. And demons are really good at manipulating.
Yes.
So the demon knight is constantly like on the run, protecting this thing.
Yes. Hunted by the demons.
And they're kind of like made immortal by the key or by this quest or by passing on.
I
shouldn't say immortal. They can be killed.
But they're
ageless. They stop aging.
Yeah, they stop aging. They basically, well, maybe they are immortal. Sketch. The thing it kind of sets up that everything's okay until 7 planets align.
Yeah.
7 other things align with 7 people.
So maybe when those things align,
then you're vulnerable. That's when the demons can get. You're vulnerable.
And I guess,
and that's when that's when like the magic runs out.
Yeah. And in the in between, you're like preparing to give it to the next person.
You're searching for the next person, essentially.
Yeah. All that stuff.
They're set like,
but it takes a while.
People, and whoever's left is the next demon knight.
Yeah. And we find that Breaker is from World War I. So
he's a World War I soldier. And this movie comes out in 94. Yeah. So he
looks good for his age.
He looks good for his age. You're kind of old.
And all of this
Uncle Willie says.
All of this is pieced together
over the course of the movie.
Quote here naturally over the movie. It's not. There's no exposition of like.
You get these like
long
flashes.
Ago. You get flashes. Like he gives some information. You can see some things that he's afraid of or that he's doing that you start to understand his intentions and his implications in it. I
thought it was really cool that it's like you basically get like a memory dump from all of the previous demon knights of how like the story it gets like transplanted.
Like as soon as you get the tattoo on your hand.
Yeah, and you have like demon post-traumatic stress.
Yeah,
like
you're
when
still
they trigger you.
They're still you, but then you also have the shared collective experience of every demon knight that came before you.
Their lives, their deaths,
yeah,
their traumas, your traumas, like World War I. Jesus Christ.
So I liked that
mustard
whole
gas,
shtick.
corn gas. He survived some shit.
He did, and
I really liked it.
I wasn't expecting that. That was completely not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah.
From what I thought was going to kind of be more of like a slasher-esque kind of thing. That I actually got like a supernatural lore. I got lore. I love lore.
You do love
I
lore.
love lore, and I got some lore, and I didn't think I was going to get any lore in this.
And
there's not a lot. Like this is our world. This is just a normal average 90s world, and then there's this supernatural element to it.
Yeah, and I do love that it's both a rave and a rant for me. But the rave aspect of it, I love that it posits a bigger plot, a bigger universe with the other 7 keys that there are lots of other stories here. And it also like it works very hard to set up or to separate out Judeo-Christianity from the Judeo-Christianity story as it has been told through the ages, using like very familiar iconography and then like putting a twist on it.
Yeah.
And it like leaves you with so many questions that some of which I will ask in the big questions
I have some big questions
area
too.
of this. It's so interesting with like the rules that it sets up and the implications that it makes. This movie is, and I complain all the time, I'm the first one to be like, another remake. This movie is like, or this lore that they've created, this world,
make a sequel,
is rife for a reboot or a sequel with a giant quote unquote.
Yeah.
Give it $50 million.
Yeah.
And like put some real chops behind like the effects and the world building and the runtime. I think it's just 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's
short little movie. Give it
and there's like 10
runtime.
Minutes of Crypt Keeper in the front.
Yeah,
and like another
10 minutes.
5 in
So
the back.
like it really does feel like just an episode of Tales from the Crypt that got made into a movie. It had a slightly bigger budget, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of like when the Teen Titans go and see something.
Yeah.
Patreon. We'll get there. And so this world is rife for more stories, sequels, something to come back to. Yeah, I'm with you, Sketch. I will just kind of piggyback on your rave if I can.
Weren't you already? You were.
I was.
Continue.
Sure. Thanks. And just like this is I've said it, it's a B movie with A-list actors and a A-list plot. It's so fucking smart, and it plays with all of the tropes of the genre of horror while also ridiculing them. It's use of vanity, its use of gore and quote unquote senseless violence, but given meaning.
Yeah.
And also nudity.
Yeah, a lot of nudity in this.
The 1980s,
was
like the
not
way
expecting the nudity.
The way you make a movie and get people to go see it in the 1980s is just put naked women in it. Just fill the screen with naked women.
Yeah.
There's a larger discussion to be had there. I don't think we're the podcast to do it, but particularly horror movies are just filled with naked women.
Yeah.
And this and usually opening on a topless scene.
Well, and there was in
this movie does.
And I was I was not expecting it.
Were you watching this one with Doodle?
I was.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, I was not. I was watching this one alone. Okay. I mean, I wrote stuff about that down.
Yeah.
But not in this section.
Okay. So, and it's the way this movie did it. It's the Crypt Keeper making a movie.
Yes.
And it's the monster. He's making one of these like stereotypical movies.
Yeah.
But the actor that they cast is not a typical version of the actor that would be in this movie. So it's not like a younger, like 20-something actor. It's an slightly old, more mature woman.
Oh, okay. The ex-murderer.
With breast implants.
Yeah.
Making it as like, it's poking fun at what horror movies were doing of the time. And it's subverting the rest of the story, because if you think that's what you're going to get, that's not the story you're getting at all. And then in the movie, it uses when the collector is going after Uncle Willie.
Yeah. Poor Uncle Willie.
Poor Uncle Will. Uncle Willie has like you need an in. You like the collector is able to like mind meld.
Hey, he's finding your mental
weaknesses. And like strong people are able to say, Geraldine says like, nope. He's like, you'll be famous. Paris, you'll never age. You'll be beautiful forever. Money, wealth, power, style, all these things. And she's very strong.
Yeah.
She's able to say, Uncle Willie is like in the opening scene, he's an alcoholic.
Yes.
He's down on his luck.
Yeah.
He's got nothing. He just hangs out at this hotel, drinking his life away. And the collector like puts into his mind a tiki bar full of naked women that are just
and
like
booze.
And Uncle Willie, oh Uncle Willie, we love you, Uncle Willie. And like collector turns around, making a martini, pours him a very nice brandy, or a whiskey,
hitting all
like Uncle Willie has no ability to refuse any of this, and the collector needs a win at this point.
Yeah,
like you vulnerable, and it's such a commentary on like the quote unquote in another episode that we were talking about like the stereotypical version of life that you are promised in the 1950s with like, oh, be an upstanding gentleman, but then there are also like nude bars, pornography magazines, like the double standard of that, like I need a win, I need an in, this is how you get it. You're a sleazy old guy and you can't refuse this. Yeah. So it's like, it's such a like, and if you're not aware, it's some naked women on screen. And if you enjoy that, you enjoy it.
I was not aware.
But if you are and to looking at the deeper story here, it's a very good use of the trope of nudity in horror movies and the way it's portrayed.
To defend poor Uncle Willie for a second, he wasn't even the first one that he corrupted. He's
one of the last. Yeah. And Uncle Willie, for his part, he's like, there's this moment where he sits down and like, he like looks at the glass. He's like, I know I can't. He like has this moment of reflection where like, I can't say this is a good way to go.
Yeah.
It's a hard life. I can't refuse this. Pour me another one.
Yep.
And I thought it was, it's definitely objectifying and like all of the tropes that we now do not want to publicize or put on display in a movie.
Probably
the way in with this movie it did it. I thought it like in an era where this was how you sold horror movies and packaged horror movies. I thought it was smart.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading something extra into it, but I think beneath the surface, there was more psychology at play there than just like naked bodies on screen.
And longtime listeners, this is where you got to chime in because I don't have the history with this genre that Shades does. So,
well, just as a reference, in Friday the 13th, 9, Jason Goes to Hell. The movie opens on
too many movies.
Just like these
numbers in a title.
Two teenagers in a tent, fucking away.
Yeah,
and like just full display, topless scene, cut in half.
Well, I mean,
and it's pointless and it's senseless, and there's no reason for it to be there. There's no reason for the movie to open that way.
I'll just say this now because it's in my rant section, but we don't need to come back to it later. It's in my rant section because not versed in this genre.
Yeah.
And I was writing down that I think there's some sort of connection between like gore horror and like sex and nudity, but I don't get it.
You think?
Yeah, like okay, at first I watched the movie and I'm watching it and then you get the first scene and I was like, "Oh, that was
unexpected."
Yeah. Like, okay.
In a movie called Demon Knight, why are we opening on this?
Yes.
Because this is the Crypt Keeper trying to sell it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting that because so that in a way that took me out of the movie, I was like, oh, what am I watching?
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. And then it happens again later, less so. And we're talking full screen.
Yeah.
Shot.
Yes.
Just of the bosom.
Yep.
So like, tasteful is not the word you would use for this.
Nope. It's not tasteful.
And so then it comes
and horror movies aren't tasteful.
Right. And so it comes back to play again later. And then I'm like, wait, if I'm remembering right, there's some sort of connection between the horror.
This is not like
and
Jack
the perversion.
Sketching Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Yeah.
There's nothing tasteful about this.
It's only like 2 years later.
Yeah. It is only
with Billy Zane.
With Billy Zane. I know. It's mind-boggling.
It's so, and it has to have something to do with like perversion.
Will you trust me that this was very smart and very different from the way horror movies use violence? And longtime listeners, if you disagree, please write in.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna believe Shades until you tell me otherwise.
Thank you.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
Having seen a number of horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it must have to do with like I said, like the perversion. Like
yes,
the death and the gore is another perversion, and the sex and the blatant nudity. It's got to be hitting the same nerve clusters.
Joygasms.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably like if you're into
Quote,
one, you're into the other.
Batman Forever. What the fuck?
Batman Forever.
Yeah, the Riddler says joygasm.
Oh, does he?
At one point.
Block that out of my
mind there.
So yeah,
what this show is doing to me, long time listeners.
So yeah, I guess for me it's a rant only because this was a rant that really took me out of the movie, because then I started going like putting together the mental pieces of like, does this fit? Is this what belongs? Yes, I think it is based on my very limited understanding of horror. So that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Oddly enough, maybe not oddly enough. I mean, they're 10 years apart. I think this movie treated its female characters better than Last Starfighter did.
I agree.
Because this movie really had the extremes.
This movie passes the Bechdel test.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Which is fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
I know.
There are like Academy Award-winning movies that do not pass the Bechdel test. There are movies being made in 2021 that do not pass the Bechdel test, which is just, for those of you who don't know, two female characters, biologically female characters, or not. I don't know how we've updated it or not, but traditionally, two female characters have to appear on screen together and have a conversation not about a man.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy test.
It's an easy test.
Mm-hmm.
And there are movies that barely pass, that don't pass well. This movie actually passes pretty well.
Yeah, I know. I was making that argument.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's in the same movie that opens on a topless scene.
And has the phrase, get that dirty pussy off the table.
Yes.
And then the woman gets off. And
I was talking about the cat.
I was actually talking about the cat.
I mean, this movie is tongue-in-cheek smart.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. It is tongue-in-cheek.
It's a hot take.
Cerebral. Did I pronounce that right? Maybe not. Let me know.
There you go.
Cerebral.
Okay. Do you have another rave?
I do.
Other than the topless scenes?
The cast.
Oh, yeah.
The cast is fucking amazing. And I will just say, Billy Zane.
That's my rave.
Fucking treasure. Give that man an Oscar. And it's mind-boggling to me that a year later he appears as the Phantom and is just a stale piece of white bread walking across the screen uninspired for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
He is like
so good in this.
So fucking good.
So charismatic.
So charismatic.
He's the perfect devil/demon, whatever you want to call him, because he's so tempting and manipulative.
He is amazing.
I completely understood why everyone who was seduced by him was seduced by him. He's so good at seducing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone in this movie had a good time filming it.
It looked that way. But then again, they're actors, and so you know.
I mean, when he I forgot what happened to him, but like he tries to walk in and he's already sealed the door and he's like, fuck this cowboy hoedown, low down shit. It's like,
that's exactly what happened.
It's like just that, because he's very like put together. I've been hired by a collection agency to get this. It's like, and that was believable. And then like his turn of like into the collected, man, he is so inspired.
His turn to just full demon, and he stays looking like Billy Zane, but his
attitude,
turn of his just personality, drops all facade, and it's just like, fuck this. You humans are so below me,
right?
I'm not playing this game anymore. Just fucking give it to me, or I'm gonna murder you.
And then on the same,
and like I said, every seduction scene he had where he's in someone's head tempting them.
Perfect.
Everyone was perfect.
Yep. I will also contrast that with William Sadler.
Mm-hmm.
This movie made me love William Sadler.
What else is he in? I was unfamiliar.
The only thing I ever saw him in after this that I was like, oh, I loved him in Demon Knight, and I kind of like him in this, was Roswell. Do you remember Roswell on the WB? He played the sheriff in Roswell.
Hearing of it.
I watched the first season of Roswell. I'll admit that. No, I watched it. It was like aliens. Like I saw how it was described. I gave it a shot, and I was like, this is just Dawson's Creek with aliens. I'm out.
Oh, was it?
Colin Hanks, first season of Roswell, very good. William Sadler was in Roswell, so I gave it a shot. There were some actors I was like, I'll give it a shot, and didn't get past the first season. But William Sadler, I thought was very good in that, and I love that he is like not a like muscled, shirtless, like one-liner dropping action hero.
No, he's not.
Demon slayer.
No.
The power of Christ compels you. No. Like demon hunter.
No, he's fighting. He's fighting as a last.
He isn't like an everyman who's like, you believe that William Sadler is this like 100-year-old guy who's been like,
he's too old for this shit.
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
Without being an old, like you believe that he's like old,
he's old inside,
got nothing left inside,
and he knows the end is
coming. To make it through this one
fulfill
last
his destiny.
night.
Yep.
And I think he played it brilliantly. My note was like, wow, Liam Neeson owes William Sadler everything.
Wow.
Like this era of Liam Neeson's career, I don't think you could like ever envision Liam Neeson as an action hero if not for like a William Sadler.
Interesting.
And Bruce like a Bruce Willis to a lesser extent. But like Bruce has kind of done like the muscled hero.
He has.
Or like, but there's nothing like powerful about William Sadler other than his constitution.
I can't believe that you finished talking about Billy as a rave without bringing up the crotch fire.
Like,
when he gets a little too excited.
Sorry. Apologies. That was a lot.
The fire. Yeah. No, I liked him too. But I mean, no. I liked everyone. I was not off put by any of the actors, but no one to me. And I'll just also
say
Zane.
Like CCH Pounder.
Who's CCH Pounder?
That was the woman who runs the Irene. Yep. And Jada Pinkett, I thought was fantastic.
Yep.
Like when she like snaps into action hero, like
yeah, that's when her character took off for me.
Well, I wish it was sooner in the movie.
Everyone else obviously dies,
but
spoiler alert, like she becomes the next Demon Knight, and then,
but it's not like William Sadler saves the day and just passes it off to her. No, like
he does too.
She has to like snap into this.
Oh, she could have died immediately
following that, and she had like she's very smart, very capable, not a damsel,
but she didn't even. I mean, she didn't even start the movie as a damsel.
No,
she was
she is a prison convict out on work release.
Yeah, work release
is her character. She's a thief.
Stealing.
I think William Sadler also thinks of himself as a thief.
Kind of thought that was going to come in somewhere.
I think it was implied, and it was probably cut out like the thief, like the good thief.
Yeah. I just meant like some thieving skills.
Yeah.
Nope. But no. All right, I have one last rave.
Sure.
I really liked that it was at least almost, probably like 90% or mid 90%, completely self-contained within the hotel.
Yeah, it's like two sets.
And it's I said it's
or three sets.
It's this event is really small and contained, but it has biblical consequences.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Yep.
It wasn't this like pull out the camera
and low stakes
and like hell is coming to earth and stuff like everything is right there in that hotel.
Yeah, it's small stakes but with bigger implications. Yeah.
Like depending on how this small stakes situation goes will dictate the universe.
Yeah.
I liked that. It was good.
Yeah. Strong agree.
It could have gone way too big. Right. But I guess not with that.
It could have been Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, I never saw Battlefield Earth.
I
think it's on the list.
Oh God.
You got to put some of those in there too.
Oh God.
Okay. You got to put some of those in there too. I guess that brings us to rants. Unless you have any more raves.
I do have one last Oh, and with the cast, they just won. Dick Miller is Uncle Willie.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've seen him before and stuff.
Gremlins.
Oh.
He was in Gremlins.
Oh, our Christmas movie.
Our Christmas movie. Yeah, our Christmas special.
Yeah, he was.
He was. He dies for the farm equipment kills him.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't kill. It doesn't kill him because he's in Gremlins
the
too.
sequel and they.
Yeah.
Spoiler for Gremlins. If you haven't listened to that episode, yeah, he Bugs Bunnies it, where it's just like, yeah, I can't be killed. I'm a fucking tune.
We should say
also,
he Space Jam Legacy's it.
Space Jam Legacy's it.
Because it's
that's not what Bugs does.
It's not Bugs. It's
New Legacy.
New Legacy. Nobody dies anymore.
He LeBrons it.
Yeah. He King James it.
King James.
The last thing I'll say, it's gory.
It's gory.
Fun. It's fun.
It is fun. I'll give you fun.
It's fun.
I'll toss you up fun.
Like Irene gets her arm ripped off.
She does.
And I'm like, that's gory.
It is.
She also straps a grenade, a belt of grenades to her chest, pulls the pin.
Yep.
Surprisingly small explosion for the number of grenades.
A lot of grenades.
Yeah, it was a lot of. It's like 12 grenades.
I felt bad in that scene because I didn't think the deputy had to die there.
He was out of bullets.
Yeah. So was everyone else.
Well, he went with Irene.
He did. Like,
he didn't want Irene to go by herself.
I guess.
And he felt duty bound or something.
I guess. Just I felt bad.
Maybe like they couldn't all fit
upstairs. That would have been a better. Just tell me that. You couldn't get up the ladder.
Couldn't get up.
He was a larger fella.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I mean, Irene fit.
Irene did get up there
with one arm.
With one arm. That's one of my big questions, actually. How did Irene get up and down the ladder
with one arm?
With one arm and a massive blood loss.
A massive, yeah. It's a great question.
Because after they bandage it, they're like, it's still bleeding. So she's losing blood consistently throughout that movie, and she's going up and down a vertical ladder.
They just put a tourniquet on it. They needed to also cauterize it. They did not.
She's going up and down. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Firing shotguns.
Okay, Irene. Okay.
How the fuck did she not bleed to death?
Yeah, she was both armed and disarmed at the same time.
Okay. Does that bring us to rants?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a rant of mine. That was a big question. But yeah, that brings us to rants, or as we say in spooky time,
fire ants.
Fire ants. Okay, so we'll work on that for next year.
Well, we're gonna control room. We're gonna splice something in there.
I liked graves.
Graves
for raves.
Yeah, that was
I like that.
Your mistake was tossing it to me.
That was my mistake.
That was your mistake.
It was. That's typically the mistake in this podcast.
Longtime listeners, write in with your suggestion.
I can't believe you're the treat, and I'm the trick.
We discussed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the moment has passed. All right, rants. I mean, I already gave you one of mine.
Sure.
I mean, my rants are really just boiled down to like, this isn't my genre of movie. So like the things that you love about it
are rants for you.
Are just like gore, the excessive gore.
It is excessive gore.
Excessive
but not meaningless.
No, it's not me. I didn't say meaningless gore, but it is a lot of gore. It's more gore than
So a trope of the movie is usually it's senseless violence. Mm-hmm. This is not senseless violence.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's the violence part.
Yeah. It's violent.
I can handle it, especially like animated.
Yeah.
Like anime, gory anime. Okay, I can take that until it gets really...
Right.
There's still a line for me. I can't handle anything.
Right.
But the live action is still hard for me to digest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't fault... I'm faulting my experience on the movie.
Sure. That's fine.
But that's what the movie is. How can I say movie don't be gory? You're a horror movie.
You touched upon this.
I did like the face through the head, like the fist through the head.
He punches through his head.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, we got the gore out of the way. No, we were just starting it off.
Just starting. Yep. I think he's like, well, fuck this act.
Yeah. Oh, it was a quick turn. Quick turn. That sheriff had the best situation in the entire movie.
Yeah.
He never dealt with any of the supernatural. He one punched the back of the head through the front of the face.
Okay.
There's no way you're living through that. He's done.
So this is a big rant for me.
Okay.
The way that you kill a demon
is
to destroy its eyes.
You gotta hit the eyes.
Everybody has no problem shooting them in the eyes.
Everyone can hit the eyes.
Every single person has no problem, whether
these are normal people.
Normal people.
There's even a child.
There's a child. They have no problems.
Yeah.
Shooting the eyes out of these demons. Yep. Even Deputy Bob, who is established to be dumb as shit
not
bricks.
Good. Yeah, he's not good.
No problem shooting at the eyes.
No, everyone can hit the eyes. It is frustrating to introduce a weakness, like a weak spot, and then disregard that it's really a weak. Like,
right.
That's it's introduced as, oh shit, that's going to be really hard, but then it's never hard again in the rest of the movie.
It is as if demon eyes are magnetic to bullets, and the minute you fire knives. And knives and just
deer antlers.
Like you just have to sneeze, or fire a gun, and it will find its way to their. I think at one point they used like a hunting arrow.
Yep, one of them gets shot through.
Billy Zane, but that doesn't kill him because he's a higher level demon.
Yeah, that doesn't kill him, but it still made the shot. But I think that was
and fired at the
Breaker.
and Billy Zane turned to look. So he like fired in a spot where he knew Billy. So it's like the arrow pulled Billy Zane to where he needed to be for the arrow to go through his eye.
Yep.
It is it's beyond just suspending your disbelief.
Yeah, well, it's frustrating, and other movies have definitely done it where it's okay. Excuse me. Okay, the everyman now is fighting and working up the courage to fight back, and oh no, it's not working. And then our hero says it's not working because you have to hit this weak spot,
right?
And then that's all it took, just knowing about the weak spot, and
nobody misses. It is like, if you think it's unlikely that Luke was able to like fire the proton torpedo down the vent of the Death Star and like make it do a 90-degree angle to go down the exhaust port. I mean, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time. I see that a lot. Like, I get that like Luke uses. How does the proton torpedo make a 90-degree angle? I don't have an answer for you, except to say, if that upsets you, don't watch this movie.
I would love it if that was the message that you're putting on message boards when people were complaining about that. If you think that's problem, let me tell you about 1994's Demon Knight.
Don't watch Demon Knight. It takes me right out.
Yeah.
But also is I rewarded this movie for like making fun of tropes.
Yeah.
And there's always like you need a special knife to kill this person, or you need to do this to kill this person, or they're only vulnerable when this happens. And they always seem to like find the special object or be in the right place where the thing is.
Yeah.
Or like it's the Mummy where they're like you need the stick is the only thing that can kill the Scorpion King, and like Jonathan's special like scepter.
Yeah.
It's the stick.
Also,
it's a javelin.
For
we already
Mummy.
did that episode. Yeah. We did that episode. If you're tuning in season 3 of our
thank you.
Then
thank you. I'm going to say.
But also, we've spoiled some shit, guys. There's a history to this show. You can't hold me responsible for that. We've given spoiler alert for the Mummy already.
And I'm also saying thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. Also, go listen to our Mummy episode. So
it's almost like
it's both like poking fun at the thing, but it's like, this is too much.
You almost needed a line like after Breaker says, "Oh, you got to hit him in the eyes," where one of the normals just goes, "Oh, is that all?"
I was, or like it was like, great shot. I was like, oh, I was shooting for his balls, or like something like that. I don't know, or
poke fun at it.
Trying to shoot him in the heart.
Yeah, there you go.
Something. Mm-hmm. It's just like, oh yeah, shoot him in the eyes.
The demons looked great.
The demons did look great. For having a low budget costume, the demons look great. They all have glowing green eyes.
You only really have like one shot of a full body demon that you can really clearly see, and it's got like the good cloven feet.
Yeah.
And everything. Like,
it feels like they kept reusing the same 3 costumes over and over again.
Oh yeah. Well, it's an infinite supply of demons.
Yeah, it was like they had 3 of them, and like they just kept moving them around and cutting it together in post.
Yep.
Yeah, Billy Zane cuts his hand open and just like starts flinging green bile all over the place.
Yep.
And the demons like pop up. Yep. They hatch out of the ground.
That's like in that Greek myth, right? Where you slay the dragon and warriors come up from its blood. Long-time listeners, write in if you know that Greek myth. I'm pretty sure it's a Greek myth.
My face is just like confusion.
Maybe it's not a dragon because it's Greek, but
Greek myth's not my thing.
But it's a Greek monster, and anyway. Moving on.
This is not the
Greek myth
monster episode.
Should be, though.
Sure.
Okay, switching gears now.
You get another rant. Sorry, fire ant. God damn it.
No, I mean, I've already kind of talked about them in when I would counter your raves. Not that I meant to counter your raves. I just felt like it was appropriate time. To,
well,
I'll
just say that my number one rant is every 80s, 90s stereotype is on full display here.
Sure is.
And that's
why my last rant is literally just like, it's just not my jam.
It's just a movie of stereotypes.
Yeah.
But
at its core, it's got a really cool concept.
Yes. I will say I wanted to know more about the collector and the backstory of the collector, who he was.
Yeah.
And even when they do the flashbacks, it's like some rando demon.
I'm under the impression, and I'll just tell you what I think.
Okay.
I feel like there's just lots of demons, and this was just the collector's attempt to get the key this time.
But I feel
because at
like
the end there's a whole other demon.
He's the new collector.
He's the new collector.
He's the new collector that they establish.
So you think there's always one collector, and it's only the collector's job to get the key?
Well, it establishes that there are levels of demons.
Yeah, there are different levels of demons.
When you say, one of my big questions,
he's like upper management demon.
I have to ask this. I'm going to ask this question now.
Yeah, I'm out of rants, so we can go into big questions.
I have one. I'll just say my last rant.
Okay,
cool. Well, long-time listeners, are you okay with that?
They're fine with it.
I talked about how it like substitutes this story into Judeo-Christianity, but it never really replaces it with anything.
Uh-huh.
And it's, he tells a story. He says like, the blood of a carpenter. He fills the key with the blood of a carpenter. If it's just some rando carpenter, why is the human blood? Is it just human blood that they can't touch? Like, what is it about?
No, they can touch human blood because they're chomping on human blood all over the place.
That's what I mean. So, like, why, if you're clearly subverting something into this thing that we know, but you're not replacing it with anything else, what is it about the carpenter's blood that demons can't touch? If like they can touch the key, they can kill humans. It doesn't go full into and make this like one of these like heaven and hell, the devil made me do it kind of things, which is another genre of horror that I think is like it's sad that it's not missing anymore because it's like one of our base things, like eternal damnation, this idea of like hell that is like very much an invention of the Middle Ages. Like Judaism doesn't really have a concept of hell.
Correct.
Hell is the, when they say it's Gomorrah.
Fire and brimstone.
No. It's the trash heap immediately outside of Jerusalem. Is their concept of it? It smells bad. Like that's where you're gonna go.
Oh.
And then like the Middle Ages just takes this hell thing and runs with it.
Yeah.
And like they don't have a concept of in Judaism. Like the devil really ain't a thing.
Yeah.
It's just okay. And even in the lore, like hell, like when the Bible describes hell, it's just like you're just away from God forever. Like all the other stuff is just like Middle Ages, like laying on other stuff. This kind of like pulls all of that away and doesn't replace it with anything.
Because it doesn't replace it. See, I had a different interpretation of it. I had a different interpretation of that. It was very loose, and because the flashback is very chaotic.
Yeah.
But when he was like, it's filled with the blood of a carpenter, I was just feeling that he was like, wink, wink. I'm not going to say Jesus.
Sure.
It's Jesus. So it's like holy blood. And then every time a demon knight kind of gets anointed to this position, their blood also becomes holy. Because like to refill it, we see it refilled twice. And each time it's refilled from a fallen demon knight.
3 times.
Okay,
yeah.
But it continuously is refilled from a fallen demon knight. So
Sure.
then I just kept feeling that there was some sort of holy aspect to this blood in particular.
Sure.
But yeah, it's very vague. It's very unclear. And if it is stripping stuff away, it's not replacing it with anything else.
Yeah.
The one area where I'll respectfully disagree with you is I think we got just the right amount of knowing about the collector.
Okay.
I was happy to only get what I got because it kept him mysterious.
Yep.
But I knew enough of his intentions, but the mystery helped with his menace.
Oh, okay.
To me.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
So that did it for me.
Cool.
The kind of the less is more kind of aspect to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shall we transition to big
BQs?
questions?
Yeah. I already asked my Irene one.
Okay. Can I ask a big question? Because it immediately follows up to what you just said.
Sure.
The Demon Knight.
Yeah.
I thought the Demon Knight was Billy Zane. I thought the Collector was the Demon Knight. Not the William Sadler, Jada Pinkett. I thought they were the champion. I thought Billy Zane was the Demon Knight.
I thought
because he's dancing with her and he's like, oh no, you might get a Demon Knight to cross over. No one's ever done that before. Like that he was going to join. I thought he referred to himself as the Demon Knight.
Oh, I thought he was talking about her.
She was
going to
cross over
and he was trying to convince her, onto his side. I mean, this is up for
longtime listeners. Write in.
Who's the Demon Knight?
Who's the Demon Knight? Is it
the demon?
Are the demon is the Collector the Demon Knight, or is William Sadler, Jada Pinkett the Demon Knight?
Yeah, I think I land on human side. Human side is the Demon Knight, the knight to fight the demons.
Interesting. I thought the Collector was the Demon Knight.
The knight who is a demon.
The knight who is a demon charged with getting the key.
Okay. It could
go either way. Yeah. Longtime listeners, let us know.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah.
In this isn't like a who's right, who's wrong. Tweet at Go for Sketch, Go for Shades.
I'm also fine being wrong.
I would just like to know.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm legitimately confused having grown up with this movie.
Yeah. Who's the Demon Knight?
It's vague.
And if you took the K off of it, the Demon Knight would be this night where the planets align. And
my recollection of Demon Knight was that it was referring to
the night.
And then you were like,
night.
Oh, you
the night
gave
where the
me
guy
the wrong
is weak
title.
and all the demons.
There's a K in it. And I was like, oh shit, now I'm really confused. I thought I thought Demon Knight was like the one night they could steal the key.
Yeah.
Like the demons get to go to Earth and take the key.
Well, and I looked up. It's just because there's other movies that have night.
You are 100% correct.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just said which one is it?
Yeah.
There's
not that it was wrong or right, but that I did give you the wrong title of the movie.
Wouldn't it be funny if I just went with it and just
completely
watched a completely different
why
movie?
are we doing this movie, James?
I love this movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the nudity. I'm like, it was a kid's movie.
Yeah.
James. This was an early Disney movie. And it is not, by the way.
It is not.
If you just tuned in right now,
it is not. That'd be weird if you tuned in an hour and a half into this episode.
You do you guys. You do you. If we learned anything from LeBron,
I'm
do you.
so dark. I listen to the middle end of podcasts.
Then I complain about they didn't touch upon all these things that
just in case I die before I start listening to it.
Whoa, that is dark.
So dark.
All right, I have a big question. That's a legitimate big question.
Okay, I'll see if I can give you a big A.
Well, there's no answer to this that's established. You have to invent one.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Because we saw all the others, but we didn't see this one. What do you think Billy tempted Danny with? Danny is the kid, the child. We see him tempt everyone else with what they desire the most.
I thought he tempted him with the comic book.
Well, the eye showed up first in the comic.
Yeah.
But, I didn't know,
I thought the temptation was the comic book.
Was you'll live a comic book, or you can have this comic book?
You can have this comic book.
Okay.
Because Uncle Willie was like, I found the kid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By happenstance, because he was just drinking up there.
Yeah.
That's also, we didn't even touch upon the fact that there's Willie, but there's also Wally, a defunct postman.
Who was about to murder everyone in the post office.
You find out much after he's dead, has been amassing an arsenal to do the classic
quote
90s
unquote go postal.
Yeah, go postal.
And kill everyone in the post office.
For the girl that he was, and he was legit stealing the mail.
He was stealing the mail. Yep.
Yep.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah.
Don't get the purpose of stealing the mail. All right, so you think he was tempting him with just the fanciful?
I don't think the comic book was real.
Oh, interesting.
It
was a Tales from the Crypt comic.
It was a Tales from the comic, which we know is not a real issue.
Yeah.
Demon Knight is not a real comic.
Interesting.
Not a real comic story. So I thought the temptation that the Collector gave him was just here, read this comic.
Yeah.
Here's a comic for you. It's been a rough night.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad turned into a demon, tried to murder you.
Yep. And now he's gonna.
Now I'm trying to murder you.
And he's gonna turn into a demon too. It gets rough.
Jada Pinkett fucking kicks him through a window.
She pulls a Jurassic Park Lost World.
Yeah, Jurassic Park Lost World.
I mean, it is legitimately the same takedown.
Yeah.
Except because the window has been sealed with the blood.
Yeah. He explodes as he goes through
going through it, which is a nice twist. The Velociraptor. Oh God! Spoiler alert for Jurassic Park.
Oh man!
The Velociraptor does not explode going out the window.
They do not. Yeah, he straight up explodes like meat pieces.
Yeah, and then his one little kid's shoe lands on fire on the ground.
His Chuck Taylor All-Star is like flaming on the ground. So like if
rip Danny. Literally, I guess too.
Ripped to shreds.
Yeah, because when you turn into a demon, you do get the glowy green eyes, but you also like tear apart a bit.
Yeah,
like it gives you like an unhinged jaw.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense because they're all about eating the people, and it's hard to eat a person with this kind of mouth.
Yep.
Just drink to my own.
Yeah.
Not that I know from experience. Police officers, calm down. You almost thought you had me, didn't you?
That was not a confession.
They call me the consumer.
Wink, wink. Makes for great audio.
All right, it's your question.
It's my question. Okay. This is a big question.
Oh, okay. I got a big question too.
Uncle Willie owned the mines?
Yeah, he owned the mines. That's what he says.
What the? He both owned the mines, has no knowledge that the mines intersect the mission.
Yeah.
And is now completely just like stumbling around town.
Yeah. The way I read all of those pieces of information going together is that he owned the mines. He invested in these mines thinking they were going to pay off, and they never did. And he blew all his money in the mines. And now he's stuck. He
says they paid it, like they pulled like all this ore out of it. So like it leads me.
So
to
they probably ran dry.
Fucking,
like he blew through all that money that he made.
What did he fucking do with the money?
Well, booze and babes
and holes.
Boobs and holes.
Booze.
Yep. That's all.
Holes. Is that a Colbert Report?
If it is, it's not
Colbert Report riff.
I can hear the
Wilford Brimley.
In my head, I can hear Bender. I'll make
Bender.
my own.
Maybe.
I'll make my own casino.
Yeah.
With hookers and blackjack. As a matter of fact, forget the casino. The way I read all of that was that as soon as he said they were his,
Uncle Willie owned the mines? ? Exclamation point.
He owned them. He made money off of them.
And he drank it all
the
away.
Money. Yeah, but like he drank it all. He was spending the money as he was making it, and then all of a sudden the mine goes dry, and now he's just stuck in this town forever, and he's pissed away all of his money.
You have to have money to own them to buy a mine.
Sad.
It's like
he must have started with
stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
To buy a mine, and he doesn't know where the North Spur is.
I've been turned away from many a mine because I don't have the collateral.
But like, if you owned the mines, how do you not know what tunnel's what tunnel?
Oh, he was probably a higher up guy. He was never worried about.
I don't know. That took me right out of the movie where Uncle Willie owns the mines. Like maybe the more plausible thing to me is that Roach worked in the mines.
Yeah, or Willie worked in the mines too instead of owning them.
Or worked in.
Yeah.
But like owning the mine was like wait a minute, Tales from the Crypt.
It's almost
out of everything you've shown me in this movie.
Yeah.
This is the most unbelievable scenario.
It's almost like the line was, I worked in the mines, and he accidentally said, I own the mines, and they
just left it in.
No one's going to notice. No one's going to say this.
No one's going to question
in
this.
Like 25 years.
Just wait until they do Teen Titans Go to Sea Demon Knight.
Demon Knight. Oh, that would be an episode.
That would be an episode.
All right. I have one last big question.
Okay.
It kind of bothered me.
Sure.
Kind of didn't bother me, but it left me scratching my head.
Okay.
So I'm going to preface this by saying I absolutely understand why, what's her name? Jada's character, at the end of the movie, Geraldine, she takes the blood from the key and she covers herself in it, and it protects her from Billy Zane.
Yep.
Love it. Great idea. Very clever.
Yep.
Why does she have to strip down to her?
So that the clothes don't absorb the blood. I thought about that too. Like, why does she go like and I remember watching this. This is my answer. So that the clothes don't absorb the blood.
Yeah. Because she's not full nude.
No. That's my answer. Like, I was like, I remember like, God, I started the movie. I was like, I don't want this. I was like, it started on the nude scene, and I was like,
Did start on the nude scene.
I didn't remember that.
The first nude scene I went.
Maybe I
This
never
was a
saw
Shane's
it
recommendation?
because I might.
that nude scene might have been cut out if it was on.
If it was
on
on television,
television.
definitely cut out.
It was. It probably just started with the guy turning around in the director's chair.
Yep. So I
because there's no missing it.
I didn't remember it.
Subtle is not a
and
word.
John
to use.
Larroquette, like the John Larroquette cameo, that he's the
axe killer.
He's
the husband who was killed.
That's like decomposing in the vat and like
he's been acided.
He's been acided. Yeah, I was like, oh, the John Larroquette like cameo.
Yeah.
John Larroquette was like, I don't know why he was huge in the 80s, but he was. He's a great actor.
Put him in there.
But I think it's funny that.
Okay. So
anyway, so I did not. I was like, oh god, and I think I think this movie ends with like Jada Pinkett in her underwear, like
coated in blood.
I did not remember the coated in blood.
That part's key.
It is. So my answer to you is that so the clothes don't absorb the blood.
Okay.
Like we don't want to take her, and like she is covered in blood because like it is posited that what she is wearing is a white tank top and white underpants.
Yeah, because you see that under her shirt. They're soaked.
Like
they're
orange.
Red. Yeah.
They are like
they're
full
like,
red. Like they're, and it's like more blood that could possibly have been in the key.
Oh, it was. I assume it was. She was like slathered off of Breaker in there,
like Breaker over her head and like cracked him in half.
Yeah. Because there was,
and then there was still blood left in Breaker for her to refill the key.
Yeah. Good use of the last of the blood though. Until she went to get more, put it in her mouth.
Yeah. Yes.
That was good.
That was.
I did think though, it was fine how it ended.
Yeah.
But what I wanted her to do was, because you could tell he was trying to hook up with her.
Right.
I wanted
her to kiss him
and like spit it into his mouth and then watch him combust from the inside out. You know, like his stomach falls out and stuff. And I don't like gore.
Oh yeah, you don't. Big question, Sketch. You don't like gore in horror movies?
Demon gore is okay though.
Long time listener, write into the show if you think Sketch is and being a little embellishing his distaste for gore.
You know what I think it is? Because this just triggered something.
Sure.
I think I love gore. No, I think the thing that
I dislike, I meant love.
I think the thing that bothers me about gore is when I feel like someone doesn't deserve it. When
you do love comeuppance.
I love comeuppance, and Billy Zane needed some comeuppance.
Would you say that you dislike senseless gore?
Yeah, if senseless means that like just someone who doesn't. This is going to be a weird sentence. Someone who doesn't deserve being ripped apart to shreds,
or just like cruel and unusual, like as I was saying, like. Torture.
No.
For torture's sake.
No, thank
undeserved.
You. I do not care for that.
I also do not care for it. So, but like comeuppance.
I like comeuppance.
You do like comeuppance.
I do like comeuppance.
And that would have been
great comeuppance.
Great comeuppance. This was pretty good.
It was still good
comeuppance.
It's just my brain was it's in her mouth.
And I went there too.
Yeah, because he at that point he was really into her.
Yeah.
He was really like, oh, I'm going to seduce her, and she's going to play along with it, and then right in the mouth.
My answer to, because I thought so too, and then I thought about
watching. Could have fallen off.
My answer to that is the screenwriter wanted no discrepancy as to whether or not she was giving in to him.
Okay,
like that there would not be any perceived like giving in to the collector.
Mm-hmm. Can't give like a screen grab to say, look, they're kissing.
No confusion whatsoever. So that's my answer for that.
No confusion. It wasn't really a big question. I was just saying, I thought
it was really small. Like he grabs her with the shower curtain.
That was smart.
But the shower curtain is bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Well, he was dragging her downstairs.
Yeah.
So,
but that was definitely a mannequin in that thing. But
I mean,
still, that was like she covers herself in blood and then he grabs her with the shower curtain.
He had that solution ready to go.
Instantly.
He was like, are you fucking kidding me? I got to bring you down to the bathroom now to get the shower curtain. Fine.
And like, not enough for me to write it down, but I was like, blood does not come out of clothing that easily.
Oh.
You cannot just wash blood out of clothes.
Well, I'll just say it right now then. What am I taking from this episode? Billy Zane stain remover. Because
what the fuck? I have, like, little known fact, I have broken my nose over 15 times.
Yeah, blood does not.
My nose is hideous to the point when I had to have it cauterized so that I stopped getting random nosebleeds.
Okay.
It is impossible to get like
blood out.
Blood is difficult to get out.
And he gets it out with just water in a shower.
Just no soap.
And
we're
talking. We're back to
it has dyed,
out of the package white.
It is dyed the color of her undergarments from white to bright red.
Mm-hmm. And she's in the shower for 30 minutes with water.
30
seconds. 30 seconds.
And that's being generous, 30 seconds.
And then they're dancing, and they are back to pristine package white.
Yeah.
Billy Zane.
I can't believe we didn't write that. That's a big rant, but
it was what I'm taking. So I did
so unbelievable. Billy Zane, stain remover. I love it.
He did great work.
My last big question: Are demons aliens? Because they posit that the other 6 keys are out in the universe.
Yeah.
How did they get them?
I think
demons can just travel the cosmos?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm just going to flip that. And instead of saying are demons aliens, I'm going to say what we, in this universe, what we perceive as aliens have always just been demons. Demons exist beyond our planet. They're just like everywhere. They're in all of existence.
Our understanding of demons just aliens?
Yes. And vice versa.
Yeah. They're not supernatural beings. They're beings from other worlds.
Oh, see, I was going to say the opposite of that.
No.
They are supernatural beings, but when people have experienced what they consider to be alien encounters from outer space, they're just misidentifying demons in this universe.
Oh, okay.
I don't
know if I like that answer. I think I like better that what we have identified as demons are just extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Either is acceptable to me, but you're saying acceptable. Yes, aliens, demons, same thing. However,
aliens, demons, same thing, but demons are the demons are the true thing, and aliens are the misidentification.
Sure.
And you're saying the aliens are the true thing, and demons
are the misidentification.
But we're both agreeing that they're the same thing.
Yes.
You can write in on that one.
You can write on that one too, longtime listeners.
You got a lot of homework.
shadesansketch@gmail.com.
Yeah. I think we put some good work in on Demon.
I agree.
Demon Knight. With a K or an N, both work.
I've had fun with this episode.
Unless
really fucking Zane.
Unless you're looking.
Sketch, would you rewatch this?
Yeah, I'd rewatch this, especially if especially to show it to somebody.
Yeah.
Especially the Billy Zane parts.
Yeah, right.
This is some of my favorite villainy work. It's
so
fun.
Interesting.
He's very fun.
He is.
And he's a very believable demon because he is so smooth talking and
2 years later, he's in Titanic.
Yep. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Seriously.
Unbelievable. I hope you enjoy your time together.
And I guess that's Demon Night.
Isn't that what he shouts as he gets on the boat?
Oh yeah, we're going to Titanic.
Titanic.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Deep cut.
Titanic.
Spoilers. Spoilers. Ship sinks.
What a bummer.
I recently. We'll save it. We'll save it for that episode.
Save it for the Titanic episode.
Save it for the Titanic episode.
Yeah. Our heart will go on.
I think that brings us to Shades and Sketch recommendations
for Halloween.
Ooh, spooky recommendations. Do you have a spooky recommendation?
I do have a spooky-ish recommendation. You'll see why it's in this episode. I'm going to recommend another game.
Okay.
Another computer game. This one's called Hades. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
I'm going to really want you to listen to this because I really think you would like Hades.
Okay.
So Hades.
Not just because if you remove the S from Shades, you get Hades.
Not just because of that, but partially.
85%. 85%? Okay.
So Hades is this game. I'm really bad at
Did you ever put that together, longtime listeners?
No, there's a whole forum.
Spooky.
There's a whole forum that thinks that you are Hades from Greek mythology. And that you're
just put here to torture you.
Every time you talk about not knowing anything about Greek mythology, that's a ruse.
It's a ruse.
Yeah. So this episode's fodder for that message.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Hades is this game where you play as the son of Hades. In Hades, that's tough. So you get son of Hades, the god, and Hades is also the place, the underworld in Greek mythology. And you desperately want to leave. You desperately want to climb out of Hades' preferably to get to Olympus.
I'm with you.
And the gods of Olympus have come to know of your plight and are willing to help you.
Okay.
And so as you are climbing through Hades, randomly you will find blessings from the gods. And the different gods give you different blessings. Like obviously Poseidon's are very water-based, Zeus's are very electrical-based. But you have a core set of moves. You really only have like 3 moves. You have a ranged move.
Okay.
You have a short-ranged melee move and a long-range melee move. That's really all you can do.
Okay.
And then the gods can and you can jump.
Okay.
Or dash.
Sure.
It's a dash.
I hate games where you can't jump.
And this is like that 3/4 view down kind of look, like if you've ever played like a
over
Diablo.
the shoulder, but
Yeah, and you're like far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what they call it. If I
bird's eye.
Maybe
Bird's eye view.
And so the gods empower your abilities, but at the base they're your core abilities.
It's like you're a drone tracking the person.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
From a back.
Yeah. Like following. You're following. You're above, but you're following. Yeah.
And
I think they call that bird's eye or top down.
What's kind of really cool about this, and what I think is really inventive, is that you die, and you die a lot.
Oh.
This is not a game where it's like, okay, just try to get. Well, I mean, the premise of the game is try to get to the very end, but it's understood that you're going to keep dying, and every time you die, you reappear back at the palace that you started at.
God.
And you have to keep going. But every time you attempt to leave again, it's that same kind of procedural generated thing where the rooms keep changing and the enemies you're facing keep changing and stuff like that.
You think I will like this game?
Yes. Because it's a hack and slash. Like it's all about getting as powerful as possible.
Okay.
Just destroying the minions around you. You have a variety of weapons that you could choose from in your arsenal. And every time you die, almost everything goes away. So the blessings go away. Any of the money that you've gathered on your run have gone away. But what you're left with is the player's experience, learning how to better control the game. And you also get a couple power-up items that you can use to make your base moves more powerful, better relations
keep your
with
power-ups, but you lose all your loot.
No, you lose you lose the God-given power-ups.
Okay.
But you can keep bolstering, like I said, you have your base 3 moves that you can do.
Gotcha.
You can continually make them a little bit more stronger and stronger and stronger.
So like your slash takes out more enemies.
Exactly. But
gotcha.
but then, maybe you get to Zeus and your slash also electrocutes enemies. That electrocution goes away every time you die. And so you keep learning more and more. It sounds really, really frustrating, but it's super addictive in that, like, each time you get a little further and you're like, oh, next time I can get a little further than this. And the different layers of Hades have different flavors, so like you start on like a very bubbly, poisony kind of layer, but then you go to like a fire and brimstone layer. And then as far as I've gotten, you can go further than that. It's 100% completely voice acted. Every god that you meet, all the characters that you meet in Hades, they're all voice acted. They're all wonderfully voice acted. The writing is very charming. Like the character that you play is very charming, quick-witted.
Yeah.
It's very fun to just listen through how he's talking to everybody. It won, I think it came out in 2019. I only just started playing it, but it won like Game of the Year on so many different review sites. And I get it, because playing it feels very fresh and new, but it also feels very familiar at the same time. Like I get like, oh yeah, I get what to do here. But this whole like starting over after every death and learning a little bit more and getting a little bit more feels very rewarding to me. So it's a very cool game. If you like, now you don't care too much about Greek mythology. I like Greek mythology a lot.
I like Greek mythology. I'm just not well versed in it.
That adds another level of it to me. Like I said, the voice acting is fantastic. It's called Hades. If you like a challenge and like you just like destroying shit, it's a very fun game. And also there's a God mode. I haven't turned on God mode yet, but I unlocked God mode. And basically when you unlock it, they're like, if something's a little too hard for you, you can turn on God mode, or turn on whenever you want. Who cares? Like,
okay, okay. So I'm listening to your pitch. I'm gonna give it a try,
It's
but
very good.
you've known me
Yes.
for basically 20 years.
Yes.
And as you're pitching this game to me, I'm saying to myself, I don't know that Sketch knows me as well as I thought he did.
Of it that I don't think, like, the one thing that you like in games is you like a PvP element. There's no PvP element to this.
Yeah.
But like,
I do like a good hack and slash.
It reminds me a lot, like, remember when we played Batman, the Sinsu?
Yeah, Rise of Zinzu.
Yeah. And it's just like wave after wave of enemies.
And you level up your
skills and your moves. It feels very much like that.
But part of what I liked about that game was playing with you.
Yeah. No, you're doing the solo.
I've tried to like replay it by myself. It's just not as fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I see. I'm basing my rec to you based on the fun we had together. But if part of that was me, thank you.
Yeah.
But that part will be missing from.
I'm gonna give it a shot, and
watch
like,
some gameplay. At
you
least.
caught me with God mode.
God mode's. I haven't turned it on, but it's supposed to. Now you're just like ripping shit up.
I may just start my game, and if I can,
you have to do a couple levels, and then I think the first time you run into trouble, they're like, "Okay, you can have God mode now." Like after I kept stopping at the same boss, all of a sudden God mode unlocked.
Here you go.
I didn't use it. I got past it, but I didn't use it. So Hades.
Full disclosure, I'm gonna turn on God mode the minute I get it, because like constantly going back to the beginning of the game, the palace, and starting over with like reclaiming all of the attributes again.
Yeah. Well, each time you go through, you get different attributes. So it's like
that's okay.
It's like chaining and comboing different.
My
blessings.
least favorite thing in a video game,
mm-hmm.
since like my days as a wee little shades in arcades, is when you get the power up to like have your starfighter goes from a single laser beam to like dual laser beams to get like the drones flanking you that like fire beams that take up the whole screen. The minute you get hit, you fucking lose them.
Yeah.
And that is like, oof.
Yeah. You lose them. You get them back.
What's the takeaway from this? Shades doesn't like growth. Nope. It's like, it's how you react to setbacks and like, fuck that. Unlock God mode.
That's a good way to put it. It's how you react to setbacks. And it's taking what you learned from that run and applying it to the next run.
There's one thing we know about Shades. Don't respond to setbacks well.
And it's also just like, after you get more powerful and then you restart from the beginning, like you just rip through those first rooms because you're just destroying everything.
Well, it's like, how many times do you have to go through the maze before you?
I think there's a set number of rooms, but every time you enter, it's a different layout. So it's never like, I know what to do here. I jump this, I go over here.
What did you call that?
Procedurally generated.
Thank you.
Constantly changing.
I don't know that I've ever played. I'm sure I have, but I guess I haven't registered it. That every time you go through, it's a different combination.
And if you guys at home want to give it a shot, it's called Hades. I play it on the computer. I don't know what else it's on. But
I'm a Mac, so if it's like computer or Steam, that's going to be difficult.
Okay. It could be on PS4. I have no idea.
Well on Steam does not run well on Mac. I will put that out there right now.
It can't just be me because it won a bunch of Game of the Year awards.
If it's on PS4, I just put an external hard drive.
It would fit on
with mine. I will happily,
because I play it on my computer on a controller. I think it's the best. The best control for it is with a controller. So
yeah, I don't like keyboard commands.
It fits very well with the PS4 environment.
I know.
So I hope it's on PS4.
I know we lost some of you longtime listeners when I'm like, I'm not a keyboard gamer. I know you guys are the real gamers. I like a controller. I play on console. What are you gonna do?
I have nothing against console.
I don't either.
So Hades, that's my rec.
Cool. I'm gonna recommend a movie that is about to come out. Finally, it's gonna drop in 2 weeks from the release of this episode, I believe. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Finally.
Wait a minute. I thought you weren't going to see it.
Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I thought you were like mad at them for something.
Well, I'm upset that this movie was supposed to come out in March of 2020.
Uh-huh.
And then they pushed it back to July of 2020.
They kept pushing.
And they were going to put it out in July of 2021. Like now we're in November of 2021. And I imagine they're probably going to push it back. I hope they're not pushing it back. But I'm going to recommend Ghostbusters Afterlife because everything I've seen from the trailer and the most recent trailer that they've dropped, it looks fucking amazing. The new trailer is just like, what a love letter to the original story. And again, I'm not anti-female Ghostbusters. That is not my grievance. They've released the toy line. We're getting a young crop of female Ghostbusters, rich female characters.
In this one?
We're handing off the Ghostbuster legacy to new storytelling within this universe, not a reboot. Maybe it'll be a Ghostbusters multiverse. I don't fucking know. That is not my gripe with Answer the Call.
So stop writing in, he's saying.
Yes. If you listen to the episode, my gripe with Answer the Call is not that the Ghostbusters are women.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the gender of Ghostbusters or the perceived gender of Ghostbusters. I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm just digging a hole, I feel like. But I'm very excited from what I've seen from the trailers. Directly, it's the best parts of the things I loved about Ghostbusters growing up. Not like the wisecracking, misogynistic Peter Venkman. I think we're finally rounding the corner on this in the hands of Jason Reitman of like what makes this a compelling story. Yes, the humor. This looks more horror. This looks more action horror than horror comedy, which I think Ghostbusters is like paranormal comedy.
Yeah. I definitely
this is like
from the
horror
from
comedy.
The teaser I saw, I was getting Stranger Things vibes from it.
It's very Stranger Things to me, which I think is smart. Not just because Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike, is one of the kids.
That definitely strengthens the feel I'm getting from it. But even without him, I still get the feel.
Jason Reitman is the son of Ivan Reitman, who like is privy to the filmmaking techniques of I think what a lot of people love about movies in particular that were made in the 1980s.
And Ivan Reitman did
both
Space Jam,
Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2, and he's the executive producer of Space Jam. So I have high hopes from what I've seen.
Now, where will it be?
It'll be exclusively in theaters.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, I love theaters. We've said this before.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I've said I don't think I'm going back to theaters given the current climate. And we are, I'm not trying to be controversial. In my summation, we are still very much in a pandemic. Based on when spoilers, we're recording this episode a little bit removed from November 2021. Spooky.
But this comes out in November.
Ghostbusters Afterlife drops in November. Okay. So fingers crossed, optimism. I know I'm not usually like optimism guy. I'm not perceived to be that guy. I'm like crossing my fingers that by November of this year, things have radically changed. Vaccination rates are much higher. The data's in. Thunderbirds are go. I can comfortably go to a theater, sit down and watch this thing.
There you go.
Because I do want to see it. And I imagine as we get closer in a midstream, if not, I'm going to recommend something else. Because if that's not the situation, I won't be going to a theater to see it.
Right. And
hopefully I'll be able to do like Amazon early access to see it or something. I don't know. But I really hope that I'm able to feel safe and comfortable going and see this in a theater in November.
There you go.
Fingers crossed.
Hey, good news, guys. Hades is on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation
Son of a
4.
Bitch, are you kidding me? PlayStation 5?
And PlayStation 4, but you started
okay.
swearing before I said it.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
PS4,
okay.
PS5, Xbox, and...
Lead with PS4 next time, will you?
Next time I will. And, of course, computer.
I mean,
Steam.
Rant. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get a PS5?
I haven't even...
Dear friend texts me has an alert set up. And he's like, PlayStation 5 in stock here, get it. And by the time I click the link, they're sold out.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not even trying. Like my PS4 is still new to me, so I'm in no rush.
My PS4 is on its last legs and like it's working hard for me. I had to my hard drive doesn't work anymore. I had to plug in an external hard drive. Try finding a PS4.
Yeah.
I had to import a controller from Ukraine.
Ooh. Nice. Well, anyways, Hades is
it's a
on.
Weird way to end. Hades is on everything.
Gotcha. It's not on Switch. It's not on the Nintendo's.
No,
obviously.
That's not surprising.
But it's on the regs. It's on the regulars.
The more powerful consoles.
Yep.
Okay. I will check it out, Sketch. longtime listeners, sorry for my PlayStation rant.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one.
Well, not the rant, the game.
The game. Cool. Sketch. Are you gonna? You've already told us
I already
what you're
told you.
taking.
Billy Zane's stain remover. The best in the business.
Yep. I am gonna take these.
Get your blood-soaked undergarments clear and white once again. That's his tagline.
I am gonna take these elk antlers because they are fantastic at killing demons.
Yeah, the antlers are perfectly spaced to stab eyes.
I'm taking them.
Poor Willie.
Poor Uncle Willie.
Good on Danny, though. I mean, he just grabbed that head and he just killed that demon.
Yep.
Then he became a demon. Rip Danny. It was spooky.
It was a fantastic death.
So now we've done, let's see, we've done zombies and we've done witches and we've done ghosts.
Demons.
And now we've done demons.
Yep.
Oh, what will next Halloween bring us?
It's left.
Something spooky.
Write in. Longtime listeners, write in. Let us know what you want us to do.
All the spooky things. We might just have to start doubling down on witches or zombies or a more plentiful Halloween.
You know what we haven't?
What?
The classic monsters.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done monsters.
No, we have not done monsters.
All right.
Maybe monsters will be next year. You guys just have to tune in and wait.
Tune in.
Yeah. So happy Halloween. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the season. The sweaters and the hot apple ciders.
I hope you're able to trick or treat.
Hope you're able to trick or treat this year.
I hope you're able to bob for apples.
Halloween falls on a weekend this year, doesn't it? A Sunday.
You know, I'm not sure.
I think it falls on a Sunday.
Oh, Halloween on a Sunday is the worst.
Yeah, it's not as good as a Saturday. And
I think last year it was a Saturday.
Last year was the perfect Halloween, and that was unfortunately the pandemic.
We put the pup in a little lobster costume, and you really liked being a lobster.
If I remember correctly, it was a Saturday Halloween on a full moon.
Yes.
That's a bummer to miss that one.
I know.
So hopefully this year we'll make out a little better. But hey, if not, you had a nice demon night.
Able to geek out.
Deep dive with us.
We hope you have a demon night.
Well,
take that for however, we're not sure what it means.
Hope you survive it.
Survive your very own demon night.
Survive your very own demon night. That's
whatever works for you.
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
With a K or an N, however you want to say it.
Sure.
And I guess on that note, we'll see you next time.
Bangarang. Sticking with it.
Yeah, stick with it. If you'd like to take a more active role in supporting Geeking Out, visit us at
our website, shows.acast.com/geekingout.
You can email the show at gowithshadesandsketch@gmail.com or contact us through Facebook or Twitter.
Geeking Out is a production of Tree Cave Creative, LLC. All rights reserved, 2021.